Thank you for listening to the Tattness podcast on the Tattness Co. Network.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. A Mercedes kind of sentiment, luxury and trust in me to honor the free we all should be in. Sees my sundial burst into yin and yang, ran left me and you.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Tattness podcast. As always, it's your boy Tattness, and my guest today is amazing. Mickey Faerch. Super cool guest. You may not realize, but the name may sound familiar. She's not only an actress, but she's the mother of Daeg Faerch, who was the previous guest I had a couple shows back, who played young Michael Myers in Rob Zombie's Halloween remake. And little known fact, I didn't know this, maybe it's just little known to me, but we get into this before doing the horror acting. Mickey Faerch, she was also into burlesque. She loved everything about it, and we talk about that a little bit. I had no idea, so she kind of let me in on that, and that's super cool to know someone has history, in other fields outside of acting. It's pretty cool, man. We had a great conversation. Check it out.
All right. So now that we've gotten all the off-air stuff out of the way, that no one will know about because it's none of their damn business, I got to screw with them a little bit. You've done a lot of cool stuff in the industry, and I just had your son on my show that everyone will know from the Rob Zombie Halloween remake or reboot, whatever the hell they want to call it, who did an amazing job. One of the coolest people I've ever talked to, by the way. Very sweet, very cool guy, super talented, and I'm honored to call him a friend of mine now, which, you've obviously done a lot right, so I commend you. You've had so many experiences in the industry at this point. You got to have a favorite, I'm sure.
You know what? My very favorite, I got to tell you, I was a dancer for 20 years. I was international burlesque dancer, and I loved that job. I was just enamored with dancing and taking my clothes off and doing a show, and I couldn't get enough of it. I just loved it so much. So, yeah, I've been a performer for quite a while. I started that in my teens in Canada.
Amazing. And I'm from Canada, so I'm thinking maybe I should start something like the reverse of that, where people pay me to put my shit back on.
I had one show where that's what I did. I walked onto the stage and dropped my duster, and I was naked. And for the 20-minute show, I put clothes on. Just to screw with people,
See, for me, it's more a hostage situation where until they start paying up, I won't put clothes back on. So trust me, I'll get paid quick. Take that, you bastards.
I totally loved it. I got to choose my own music. I was really good at choreography and storytelling, and I made my own costumes, and I was really well liked internationally for about 20 years. I did that.
That would be cool. I mean, there is an art form to it that people don't realize. Again, like you said, making your own costumes, which would be super cool because that takes creativity. People view it in such a bizarre way. Some people that don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
The ignorant people that don't know what it is think they know.
There is a difference between just getting on the stage and kind of moving to music and dropping your clothes. And then there's another type of burlesque where you actually tell a story and involve the audience in what's going on with the music. I did one show where I started off with the Cookie Monster, and I was dressed, and I handed out some cookies, and it ended up with Barry White's Baby Blue. So the whole theme was geared towards, I look back at it, and maybe it wasn't the best, being looking at it, but you know, at that point I was kind of young and silly, but I mean, it had a theme, it had the costume to go with it. There was a story, like a little bit of theater.
And that's the difference, right? There's a difference between burlesque and a strip club.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people need to
Although I've got nothing against strip clubs. I mean, they're fine. I love to dance and I love to take my clothes off, and I would do strip club just as quick as doing burlesque. However, I loved burlesque.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, right? There is a difference, just like there's a difference, you know, even if it's slight, there's a difference between TV and movies, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So it's not slighting either one. It's just there is a learning curve if you want.
Yeah, and commercial. You know, you do a commercial, and that's a totally different acting
right
form. Oh, and that you can get on theater and do live theater, which is another form of acting. So at this point, I've gone through several of those forms of acting. And my son, I don't know whether he told you this. I don't think he did, but he recently put me on one of his tracks, and we came up with the name of Young May. So I'm on Spotify and all of that stuff as Young May on his track called Fam.
I love it. I've been checking out a lot of his work. I've seen you in his videos, and I was like, that's cool, man. You know, I love that support, you know, is so cool.
Well, you know what it's like to have a little kid, right? Okay, so I was a single mom, and I have no family here in the States. So I was concerned when I had a boy that he may like MMA or fire trucks or something. I was like, I don't know anything about that. I was like, oh, what am I going to do? But very, very early in his life, he exhibited a lot of desire to perform. And I thought, cool, I can help with this. So it has been really fun working with my son the whole way.
No doubt. I mean, the support is evident. And I think that's brilliant. I think that's great. Again, coming from someone that never had a mom, I think it's beautiful that he has what I didn't. I'm happy for him. And I think you are one of those examples of like, that's what you want. If you could have any kind of mom, that's what you would want. So that's super cool. And yeah, you got, you know, that situation where you could relate. So it's like, oh, I know a thing or two about this. You know, I could jump in on that.
Even today we were working on an audition. I help him on most of his auditions because although he's a really, really talented actor, we all have weak points, and I'm really good at where he's weak at. So when we combine our talents for him to achieve an effect on an audition, this is why he booked Halloween without any callbacks. He booked Hancock without any callbacks. He does a lot of his stuff without any callbacks because together we bring him to production ready. I'm able to pick up where he, you know, has a blind spot. Right,
and a wonderful job was done with Halloween because everybody that knows me knows like I love horror, but I'm not a big gore guy.
Yeah, me too.
So
I like thrillers like The Shining.
Right. That's my speed.
Yeah.
But I said I went to the theater the night Halloween came out, and it wasn't gore. It was the sound in the theater when he nailed that dude with a baseball bat in the skull. My stomach like churned. I'm like, because the idea of a child doing this.
Yeah.
Was so bizarre and unnerving to me that my stomach started to like do backflips. I'm like, this is a brilliant actor because everything about this is convincing enough for me to be
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I might yak.
He takes direction really well.
Yeah, I mean, he did a brilliant job
Uh-huh.
because I was immediately like, when I saw the second one and it wasn't him, and I get, like I told him on the show, I get why they did that because the age difference, because they're trying to do like a memory of his character and the age difference, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So I get why they recast, but it's still like no disrespect to the kid that they picked. It was not the same skill.
It was disappointing on our end too, but yeah, I agree. He was no longer that young child.
Right. So I understand why they did that. And it's not knocking this poor kid that took on the role. It's just they didn't look enough alike. And it just wasn't the same. He like Daeg like set the bar real high in my
I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment to it.
really. Yeah, it's trust me, like I no matter how many times I watch it, I'm like it's not the same. He just set the bar so high. And I'm not blowing smoke. It's just everyone that knows me knows I bitch about it all the time. Like they should have had the same person because they killed it. He did just like that was his spot.
Hard with any TV show or movie when they replace an actor that you're enamored with. It's really hard. You feel betrayed on some level.
Right. And it takes me a lot of getting used to. I remember back in the day, I loved the movie Dangerous Minds that Michelle Pfeiffer did. And then in the 90s, they made it a TV series. And at first, because they cast Annie Potts as her character,
I love Annie Potts.
I love her, but I hated the show at first because it was not the same. I watched it twice and I was like, oh, I love this. You know, I had to like kind of adapt and, you know, get used to the fact it's not the same person, get over it. None of the characters are from the movie, like none of the actors are from the movie, get over it. View it as what it's supposed to be, and all of a sudden, like, oh, okay, this is great.
Casting is a crazy business. I don't know if you do any acting at all, but holy cow, casting is just, it's an art in itself. Right now we're thinking about casting a feature script that we've got in development, and just the process of thinking of people who could fill these roles is like, it's so exciting but mind-boggling at the same time because each actor brings their own whole world with them and their interpretation of the world that we've created. So it's just like, it's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really weird because I was just on Jimmy Starr's show, and he found out for the first time because when I talk to people, I'm sitting. He's like, "Wait a minute, you're 6'5" and 265 pounds of solid muscle."
That's you?
Yeah.
Oh man, you don't look that big. You could have told me you were a dwarf and I would have believed you.
I'm sitting.
A little person, I'm sorry. Yeah.
But he's like, Jesus Christ, you're 6'5", 265 of muscle. Why the fuck are you not the next Jason or Myers?
Yeah.
And I said, man, if the opportunity, I've never done an acting job a day in my life. But
I'll coach you if you get a job. I'm really good at that.
Well, thank you. Because he said, why are you not the next Jason or Myers? And I was like, if the opportunity presented itself, I jump on it. And he's like, well, maybe we need to make this happen where you get to play a horror killer because your size should not go to waste. And I'm like, say the word and I will do it. It could be our own creation. I don't give a shit.
You're like me. I say, okay, let's go. Yeah, let's do it.
Every new experience.
Yeah.
How many people get these opportunities?
Well, I think you have to be a certain person and just be okay with whatever comes your way.
Right.
I don't think I think opportunity comes to a lot of people, but they don't realize it.
Exactly. They piss it away. And, MMA was a great career, but you can't do it forever.
Of course, like dancing. I wasn't, I would still be doing it if there was a market for it.
Right. I mean, you look at Muhammad Ali and the way he turned out in his last years. That's not my goal.
Yeah.
I think,
Oh, God, yeah. It's very dangerous.
yeah, he's the greatest, and I will always commend him.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be in his position.
Yeah.
I want to make my money and get out. I made my name for myself. I made my money.
Yeah.
And then I had all these opportunities where everything I touch seems to work.
Good.
So why would I go back to that if someone's saying you need to get into acting and they see something I don't? Because I don't have that ego. I don't see myself as anything. I didn't see myself as reaching number 10 show of top 50. That never crossed my mind. I didn't even think I was on the radar. I don't have that ego. I'm just grateful for every opportunity I get, for every acknowledgement that I get, every bit of that. Every bit of praise that my guests tell me that they've heard from Jimmy or anyone else. I'm like, man, that's awesome. I'm grateful. I don't feel it's owed to me. And this is 5 years now that I'm still grateful for everything. So I jump on opportunities. If it interests me, I'm not going to sell out, but if it interests me and I know I'll probably not make much, if anything, I'll do it for the experience. I'll do it just to say I did it,
You typically make a lot in your first couple of movies anyway.
Exactly.
Even if you're like one of the stars,
right.
it doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Right. I flat out told Jimmy, I said, I'll do it just for the experience alone to say I did it.
Yeah.
Just because that's so cool to me. I've lost a child. If I ever have another one, I want them to be able to see, like, your old man before I'm gone did some shit. And that's why I did this show, was if I have another child when I'm gone, say, because tomorrow's not promised to us. I learned that real quick. If I was gone before they grew up and really knew who I was, at least they have a show where they could watch like a couple of years worth and hear my voice, hear my views on things, hear my sense of humor, see how I interacted with people, maybe watch the videos, see who I was, and see all the stuff I accomplished. That's what it's about now. It's not about this. I don't care about money. I've done enough in my career. Like, I'm good. Getting paid is nice because they never stop sending those fucking things in the mail they call bills. But, for me, it's about just being able to say I did something. So I do it for the experience, just for the fun, just to learn some stuff about what you guys do, because I'm nowhere near your level. But I would love to get my foot in that door and just say I gave it a shot. I think it'd be fun, and I come into it serious. I don't shit on what you guys do for a living. I come in serious and try to be as pro as possible, even though I'm not familiar. I know etiquette, and I will come in. I'll take it seriously. I'll give it my absolute best.
Keith, you could create your own content.
Right, and that's the opportunity that seems presented to me, is you're going to be your own character that we create. So because I'm so hardcore into art, I draw a lot of stuff, especially 80s horror and stuff. And it seems everybody that's seen my work, like Jimmy was saying, Eileen keeps telling me you're the best artist she's ever seen. And I'm like, that's high praise. I started thinking when he mentioned this, I'm going to design my own mask and see, like, I'm going to find out from people what elements of a horror mask scares the shit out of them and try to design something that I think is usable, not over the top, not too busy, but not too emotionless, because I think the Myers mask kind of fucking steals the show on the emotionless mask. I think that's done. That's found its king. So let's find something in between that has like a creepy factor, but it's not too busy, and design something cool that's unique and as a cool art task to kind of play with a little bit. And that's how committed I get to something. It's like I want to contribute, not just play the part. I want to be like, here's a pitch. You don't have to use it, but here's a design I created for a potential mask. Use it or don't, but at least I'm trying to contribute.
That's what we did with our feature script. I mean, we created roles that we wanted to play.
I think you have to. I mean, if you're committed to your part, then I think that shows that you really mean business. You care enough about it to contribute and show your vision for it. I think that shows people that you're interested and you're serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And I mean, not everybody is a script writer. I went to school for it, but if you work alongside someone who is a writer, then you talk about the story and they can make it for you. They can make, and work on it with you.
Right. And, I even played with the idea of, even though I do art like crazy, and it's my thing, I feel like you have to know when you're too invested in something, it's too close to you. That I played with the idea of, well, I have some tattoo artists that I'm a tattoo artist myself.
I was a tattoo artist.
Really?
In Guam, I had a shop called Skin Goblins, which once I bought it, we turned it into mermaid tattooing.
Amazing. So we have that in common too.
Yeah.
So, I thought maybe I'll turn it over to who's currently doing it, because they're so talented and not so invested and close to the project. Yeah. What if I get their input? Be like, design something and let me know what you think or what you see it as. Doesn't mean I have to use it, but if I'm so close to it, maybe I'm overthinking it and I won't come up with something cool.
I tell Daeg this all the time, Keith. You get your inspiration from everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere.
Right.
So if you want to collab with somebody on an idea, or you just want to go to a museum and look at everything, you're going to get ideas and put part of them, a collaboration of what goes on in your mind, down on paper or whatever you're working with.
Exactly. That's why I thought it might be a cool idea. It gives them some business because I paid them, obviously. With this pandemic and shit, everyone's hurting.
Right.
So give them some business, pay them to kind of come up with a couple ideas. So they're making money even if I don't use every aspect of it.
Yeah.
And it benefits everybody.
Yeah. Good for you.
I think that's genius. And it's hilarious how many guests I have come on that I have so much in common with that I never would have thought. Tattoo artists, with you and I obviously being the conversation piece there. Did you notice, because obviously tattoos are not cheap, did you have the experience that I had where the second you got into it, you suddenly have an overabundance of like best friends and family that want
Well, I was in Guam, so that's a little bit different. It's a military island, and most everybody who wants a tattoo there is military. So, the B and, all, yeah. But we did have a lot of opportunity to draw our own designs or, pick something off the wall.
So a little different then. Yeah. Yeah, in my experience, it took the fun out of it almost immediately. Word travels fast. And when you have an artistic background and people love your work, and then they find out you're doing it on skin, suddenly I got cousins that didn't want nothing, like made no effort. you know, my entire fucking existence
Right. Yeah.
until, oh, you're doing tattoos now and I don't want to pay for them. So we should get close.
Yeah.
Like, really? Do you not know how transparent that is?
Right.
She,
We have stories too.
oh, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, Angela and I talked about how, you know, she was in the same boat because she heard me talk about that with Jimmy Star about you'll go 10 years without someone liking your shit on Facebook.
Yeah.
But then when you're casting, they want to fucking roll.
Yeah.
Or they want, you know, a hookup. Or, you know, like I said, in my experience, if it's not about the money that you could offer them, it's about who you know.
A lot of times it is though.
Right, you know, and fuck people. I'm so
I know. I know. I don't go out much. I kind of like the pandemic. I don't have to deal with a lot of people.
I had I love that you said that. I feel like I have an ally now because I had Sadie Katz on my show. I love her. I love her to death. But when I said the same thing as you, I said the pandemic hasn't really affected me because I'm antisocial anyway because of people's doing, and I don't really go anywhere. She's like, you see, people like you piss me off.
Oh my goodness.
And she was so sweet about it because she was laughing. And she's like, I just want to go to the bar, man.
Oh my God.
And
You know what? If I was still drinking, Keith, I don't know how I would deal with it, but I'm not drinking and I don't need to go out and find people anymore. I'm much happier just at home. My son comes in and out. You know, I got a dog. It's so much less drama and chaos and like spinning your wheels. It's like, it's crazy out there.
It's nuts. I agree completely. Like, I can pick up booze and go home. I can have weed delivered to my door.
Right.
I don't need people's bullshit.
Yeah.
And paranoia.
And when you do, we can Zoom, we can Skype.
Right. And it's my choice who the fuck I talk to.
Thank you.
I only pick the best. So I've only had one bad experience so far.
That's good.
In a year. And it didn't even go as far as a show. It went like email. And this dude, I'm not going to say names or whatever because why bother? Like, here's the thing. It's a weird situation. He had, like, if it's true anyway, some kind of, like, later down the road I found out, like, potential diagnosis about something it's fine, but it could have been bad, but it's not. But that's no excuse because this is like weeks after the fact, a month after the fact, maybe. He emailed me kind of being a bit of a douche. And I said to Eileen, I was like, I'm not going to deal with this much longer.
Yeah.
And
Keith, you know what? Everybody has a bad day. I've had my times being a douche to people, and I was totally oblivious to it because I was so involved in my own head. And I think as humans, we go through that shit, you know. So
I just wrote it off.
yeah.
But she said, fuck him. Like, it was a favor, not a client.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know, he was annoying on our end.
Yeah.
But he hit me with like 3 emails straight.
Oh.
Like berating me.
Oh.
Because he lost track of the schedule.
Oh.
And then my producer like had a typo, literally missing a letter. And he was like, by the way, spelling your interviewee's name the right way would be professional. And I'm like, well, I didn't type the fucking email. But I hit him with professionalism and kindness, and I said, I assure you my producer meant nothing, you know, no disrespect by it, what have you.
Just let it go.
I did.
You don't know what people are going through. It
Right.
could, it could be something really bad.
Right. And the reason I let it go, and I'm not trying to put him on blast now either. I never heard from him again when I responded to his diet. He canceled again after wanting to reschedule. He canceled again because of something that happened that he said could have been bad. It's not. It's fine. It's just a cosmetic thing at this point. And said, we'll reschedule. I'll never hear from him again. I'm aware of that. But it's also like, I've never heard of you. I was asked to have you on my show, so I agreed. And, to do a favor for a friend. And so I'll leave it alone. But it's the only bad experience I've had.
You know what, Keith? You wouldn't realize how great you've got it unless you had a few bad ones in there, too.
Absolutely, right? So I let it go, and I took the high road, and I was just like, I don't wish that on anybody. I hope he's well.
Yeah.
And I do understand the stress that would come with such a situation. So I was like, that's maybe it. I don't know. But then I was told, you'll never hear from him again. And so I was like, okay, cool. That's fine. At the end of the day, the thing with me is, like, if you're going to attack my producer for a fucking typo, I'm going to take my producer's side every time.
Yeah.
Who's been there through everything. I'm going to always side with my team because accidents happen. Sticky keyboards happen. We spill shit on our keyboards. Sometimes they're half asleep. They're doing a 12-hour fucking shift as a nurse and then coming in to do my production job. So I don't fuck up because I don't know shit about IT. And sometimes accidents are going to happen. If you're going to berate them, I'm taking their side, not yours.
Yeah. It takes all kinds.
Right.
You know that. You're old enough to know that. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing because it gives us, people that we want to work with. And, we just have to learn our lessons with the people who we don't want to work with.
All it does for me is make me more grateful for the great experiences, great guests that as much as they could have an ego because they've done so much great shit.
Yeah.
They're more in my train of thought as like, I'm not owed anything.
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate in 5 years. I don't feel I'm owed anything. I got 8 frames of publications that I'm putting on my wall because I'm grateful for it. It's not ego driven. It's like, holy shit.
So behind you, those are your drawings?
Yeah, that's digital art that I did.
I love the pumpkins. The jack-o'-lanterns are awesome.
Oh, thank you. Like, I wanted to do all of October because the new Halloween film has been postponed for a year because of COVID.
Oh, God, yeah. I think I heard that.
It got everyone thinking Halloween in general is now fucking
postponed indefinitely
and canceled. So I thought, well, I can't have that. Being a horror fan, I'm going to give people something to look forward to. So I said, all of October, I'm only doing Halloween season themed shows. So it's going to be people from the horror industry.
People are going to love that.
You're right. Ghost hunters, paranormal experiences, anybody. I don't give a shit who it is. Anything that could be related to Halloween season, I thought that's going to be something to keep people happy. So having, of course, your son on the show was so fucking great. Having you on the show is so great. So many people. I'm friends with Ken Sagos from Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4. And he loves this kind of shit. So he was already on the show. I wanted to have him come back for October, but in between, he lost a brother. And I'm like, it's not the time.
Yeah.
And now he's still doing appearances for like convention stuff. Like not conventions, but like these horror kind of people from the Nightmare franchise are showing up at places. He's busy doing that. And I'm like, I don't want to be insensitive. So I'm not going to even ask him to come back. I'm going to
He might like it if you send it out. Just like you wanted a distraction for a little while after your loss. Some people enjoy it, some people don't. But, asking him certainly wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, he's a friend of mine, so he'll get it. So I'll probably just put it out there. It's like, no pressure. And I don't want to cross any lines. But if you could use the distraction, I can make time for you.
Yeah.
It was really funny because my producer is still adapting to the fact that my life is what it is. She's one of my best friends. So she woke up one day here to my phone going off, and I put it on speaker because I don't hold my phone in my head. I hate it. I don't know what it is. I'm not paranoid about like the brain cancer shit like some people, but I did know someone that lost a mother to like a brain tumor from living on having her cell phone to her head, doing a bus dispatch thing, and so I understand people's paranoia about that, and it could be true, but I don't know. I just hold it like this. It's convenient, and I put it on speaker, and she wakes up to hearing, yeah, this is Ken Sagoes. She's like, did I just get fucking woken up by Ken Sagoes from Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4? I'm like, yeah, that's my friend. What the fuck is going on? Like, so weird to some people, to get used to. And I'm like, dude, this is my life. It's just another human being like I view myself. I'm just a dude with a cool job. We're people.
Mm-hmm.
So I will put that out there for him and just be like, hey, if you got the time, I didn't want to bother you with it, but you're obviously doing other shit. So you're absolutely right in that sense. He's got a lot on his mind, but he's still making appearances, so maybe he needs a distraction.
Yeah.
And, so I will put it out there now that you said that, especially because I wasn't going to until you said that, but you're absolutely right. Because I can empathize, and I needed the distraction. I needed something. So that's actually brilliant. Thank you for pointing that out. Because what's the harm if you word it correctly and let them know I don't expect a handout because you're my friend. I don't expect any favors. It's just if you're comfortable, let's do this. If not, that's fine too. No problem.
This is one of the things that my son really appreciates about me is that I've lived a long enough and eventful enough life that I have these like insights that a younger person you can't have them until you earn them with a lot of years. So he likes that I'm an older mom. I didn't have him till I was 39, so he really appreciates the fact that I offer a lot more than his friends' younger moms.
But you got
what?
You got the best of both worlds because you have the experience, but personality-wise, by no means are you older. I mean, you obviously are full of life and open-minded and just awesome. So I'm
sure from your fighting that life takes its toll on you.
Oh yeah.
As young as I seem, life has taken its toll on me, so I'm not escaping that free from aging. But I don't mind aging in a lot of its aspects. It's very similar to being in a pandemic. I don't have to do all that stuff. I don't feel like I have to be out there and like proving myself. It's like, what the fuck? It's kind of a relief to get a little bit older. Not completely a relief, but There's a lot of good to be had
There is.
in getting older.
We learn as we go.
Yeah.
I know so many people. I think it's tradition that as you approach 30, you freak out. But then once you've hit your 30s and you see someone freaking out approaching their 30s, you're like, are you kidding me?
Right.
You're like,
Yeah.
your 30s are going to be like the best.
I didn't have it until I was 60. That was the first year that I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think I'd make it this far. But, you know, the years that have come after 60, I've been dealing with it better. But 60 hit me hard. 60 was a hard one.
I tripped out at 20. Honestly, not at first.
Yeah.
It was kind of an after all the craziness. And I had my first child when I was literally 18 for a day. I turned 19 the day after he was born. So he is the best birthday present ever. But I also left home at 15 to get out of an abusive situation. I lived on the streets and I worked my ass off to get a place of my own. So I grew up fast.
Yeah.
So my oldest son is 18 now.
Wow.
And I'm 38 in January. So it's a trip.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. But when I hit 20, once all the party aspect of like to go out for dinner and then come back to the house, have your friends leave and all that shit, everyone's asleep. And I shut the door and I locked it and I was like, it sunk in. I'm 20. I'm no longer an age that has the word teen at the end of it. And I have a son. Holy fuck. Like, you're an adult, whether you like it or not.
Life will smack you upside the head sometimes.
Right. And that blew my mind. And then I dreaded 30 throughout my 20s
Wow.
because I had no idea 30 is
Yeah.
so good. Like, when I hit 30, I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, like, I don't think people realize scientifically that once you hit 30, your brain stops developing. So therefore, who you are now comfortable with, and you're good with that because you're set in your ways, and there's no more development. It's just like you've come to peace with who you are in your 30s. And then like anything after 30, I was like, I'm not even upset about this. Like,
Yeah.
this has been a blast. January 38, and I'm not dreading 40. I take the piss out of people. I'm like, oh, fucking 40. But I'm like, how bad could it be? Like,
Fine. It's a great age. 40s are great.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
I think 50s are even great.
Right. What's wrong with it?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, none of us make it out alive.
Yeah.
I've seen far too many people in my bloodline alone go before 20.
Yeah.
That, like, it would be foolish to dread an age at this point. It's ungrateful, I think.
I'm sorry. Your head is covering the head of your character, so it's just his feet and his hands were like reaching around like you had a little monkey on your back. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh at.
No, it's hilarious. I see it.
Yeah, like just like that.
I see it too. I'm like, that works.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in just the right way.
Yeah.
I've taken up so much of your damn time, and I'm hitting that 1 hour mark, and I don't want to take more of your time because
That was awesome, though. I mean, if you want to collab on a short story, like you were talking about, I like writing, and we could smash out some ideas.
Hell yeah, anytime. Like, I appreciate your time. I don't want to take up a ton of it because I respect everybody's time. And I've had shows where we go like 2 hours because we lose track of time. And then I feel awful because I'm like, what if they didn't want to do all that? But then like, no, that was all on me. And I'm like, just in case, I feel bad. But it was
I'm good. An hour is good for me. Thank you.
no,
Thank you for having me.
it was an absolute honor. Thank you for coming on. It was a blast. And I will work with you on anything. I mean, my God, name it. And I will like I love creating.
Yeah, I do too. It doesn't matter. I love to create.
Yeah, if there's like a genuine interest there, man, if somebody sees something in what I can do, then I'm like, let's do this. I'm always open to it. So if something comes up that you feel that would be the perfect fit, I am so open to it. Let me know. I'm not hard to find on social media. I mean, your son knows, so you can hunt me down and hit me up there, add me, whatever you want to do. I'm very open to anything because I just want to leave my mark before I'm gone because life is so damn short. We talk about 40s, 50s, 60s. I don't even know I'm ever going to see any of that. I don't know I'm going to see tomorrow.
Right. I get it. I don't know. Somebody's been watching out for me because I was really, really hard on my human body for a long time.
You and I both. I like my fair share of beer, so I get it.
All right, Keith. It was a pleasure. Thank you again.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. I mean, thank you for your time and anything. If there's anything that comes up, I don't expect no damn handouts. But if you think that I'm worth considering, I'll give it a shot. And if I suck, I suck.
Right.
Better person get it, right? You know what I mean?
All right, then. Take care.
Thanks so much. You too. Thanks for your time.
All right, y'all. That was Mickey Faerch, super sweet lady. I love her, man. She was wonderful. And if you watch the video version on YouTube, you will see that she is a down woman, man. She is fucking like her bond with her son that I addressed on the show is so beautiful, man. It's super cool. That's how a parent should be. And as many know, like, I didn't have that, so I admire that. I think that's cool. And she's got the septum piercing and like a couple of matching tattoos with Daeg that mean something to them, that are like symbols of something important to them, which I thought was cool. And they just have that unity, and I think that's super cool. And I think she's a great parent and a great example of what a good parent really is. So it was cool to talk to her and find out all these things. And like I said, if you watch the video on the Tattness podcast YouTube channel, you'll see that she's a cool chick, man. She's a good woman. Still young at heart, man, and still, she's still young in general, but she's not slowing down for nobody, dude. She's kicking ass, and I love that. That's where I fucking plan to be as well. I mean, that's the goal for everybody. Never forget who you are on the inside just because of, like, we all have birthdays and shit that catch up to us. We're all, I'm pushing 40 soon, in a couple of years now, and, I'll be 38 in January, and I'm in the gym every day as if I'm like 20, and everyone else talks shit about, oh, once you hit your 30s, man, everything goes downhill, and you can't you don't have the metabolism you used to, and you can't lift as much as you used to. That's bullshit, dude. It's all about how you take care of yourself. I am way stronger now in my late 30s than I ever was in my 20s because I put in work, and I've been kicking ass in the gym every day, 3 to 4 hours a day, no excuses, no bullshit. So it's all how you take care of yourself, mentally and physically. Healthy body, healthy mind. If you don't allow yourself to think because you've reached a certain age that you now have to be boring, then you live pretty well. You really enjoy life, and you don't age a bit. And she has not aged at all, and I love it. I think it's great. I think it's something we should all aspire to. just like my guest in the past, Ron Russell, who is 80. You wouldn't know it to look at him. The guy's, awesome. He takes care of himself and has a blast. He enjoys life, and he looks great. So, I mean, shit, I hope I look that good at 40. So, anyways, I hope you dig the show, man. Love you all. I really appreciate the support over this last year doing this, and for all of you that have supported my career in the last 5 years and, made me famous and shit. I dig it. I appreciate y'all. Thanks so much for checking out the show. I appreciate you guys. I hope you are taking care of yourselves out there and all this craziness. I'll catch your asses later, man.